Hello everyone, hello. There's no one watching, but hello.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dan's stream. We're going to be getting underway on the Motive Racing channel in a few moments time. Stay tuned. Just so you know.
That's it, mate, thanks.
That was enough. Right, let's load up Unorthodox's stream.
I'm putting it in the driver streams now.
Oh no, Unorthodox is falling backwards.
Oh no, Unorthodox.
And a very warm welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel for another season here on Project Cars 2. Not technically part of the Season 7 here at Motive, but nonetheless this is a pre-season event here. We're going to be starting off at Zolder in Belgium for the first of these two races in the V8 Supercars, and then we're going to be heading over to a location very well known for the V8 Supercars, Bathurst Mount Panorama after this. But we have got, I believe, a full grid of cars out on track right now. 15 currently showing up on the timing board, so we're missing one driver by the looks of it. Hopefully,
Laney
whoever's
disconnected.
missing will be in the. Well, apparently, just hearing reports from one of our in-race reporters tonight, unorthodox, that it is Laney that we're missing. So hopefully, Laney gets in here as soon as we possibly can. But we have got 15 drivers currently out on track right now as we see Champ. They're getting a bit wide, coming out of turn 3, coming down the back straight. But I'm going to talk about Champ here. First of all, this man won the Slash and Dash event in December, just before Christmas, the I think it was a 75 lap oval race in the BMW Pro Cars, and he won it pretty controversially as well. We saw a few laps from the end, himself and Ben Parkey having a good old scrap, and then it turned a little bit nasty when there was a bit of an incident involving the two of them, which we now know, with absolutely no shadow of a doubt, to have been Champ's fault. But at the time there was a little bit of confusion due to the lack of evidence surrounding the event. So unfortunately, he was granted the victory for the race essentially, and given the prize money, which we now know was the wrong decision. But unfortunately, what's done is done. There's nothing we can do about that now. So Ben Parkey, the man who was second best on that day in terms of the actual result, is currently out there as well. So these two, both out on track. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they put their differences behind them, and let's hope they keep it clean and healthy out on track tonight. But Ben Parkey is actually our Formula Renault champion. He didn't allow that heartbreak in the Slash and Dash to get the better of him last season. He put in the best performance he's put in so far in a season here at Motive, and he took the Formula Renault title, our Saturday Night Championship last season, went to this man. He had a great season-long battle with Unorthodox. He was the LMP2 champion the previous season. There is Unorthodox, by the way. But Ben Parkey, currently out there right now. I haven't seen him in these V8 Supercars before, so we're looking forward to seeing how he gets on in these. Usually a man who likes the faster, higher downforce type cars, so it's going to be very tasty seeing how he handles these front-wheel drive beasts tonight. But Ben Parkey, Formula Renault champion. The man who is second to him in the Formula Renault Championship, Unorthodox, currently out there right now. And this man, you always can bet on Dan driving in a number 16 car. He doesn't drive any other car here on Project Cars 2. He always sports that his lucky number, and he flashed the lights there from him. He knows we're watching him. Our graphic designer, regular commentator, Stuart, here on Motive Racing's Discord, and great presence to have in and around the place. And he's currently yet to the lap time, but this man won the LMP2 championship a couple of seasons ago. He was the Ginetta G40 Super Cup champion here on Project Cars 2 last season as well, and he drives regularly in our F1 leagues, commentates alongside myself for the GT3s on Project Cars 2 on Saturday nights, also commentates on the Clio's races in the Clio Cup Tier 1. This man does just about everything here, one of the most versatile individuals that you will meet here on the PlayStation platform here. So very much delighted to have him with us this evening. Just having a look at the timing boards right now. Looks like Champ's got on top of that leaderboard. Civic currently backing him up though, sat in second. Civic, another member of Team Prolapse. Team Prolapse being headed up by Nicky and Ben Parkey. Nicky's currently sat in P4 right now here in this session, a little way off that fastest time being set by Champ, it must be said. But great to have Nicky out on track as well. Regular in our Formula Renault series, finished third in last season's championship This man's always there or thereabouts in the Formula Renaults, but I may be mistaken here. I was just thinking of this earlier on when I was doing my stats, which I then subsequently lost due to my computer shutting down. But when I was doing my stats earlier on, I actually thought about this for a moment. Has Nicky actually won a race here at Motive? I'm not sure if he has.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was trying to think about this because he's always up there or thereabouts. He's finished on the podium multiple times. I can think of many times he's been on the top 3, but I don't think he's ever won a race. So that's a bit of an interesting dynamic. If anybody knows the answer to that, Nicky, if you yourself can answer that question for us, then that'd be excellent to actually know, because it's surprising when you think about it. When you consider the number of times that Nicky's been up there fighting at the front, it'd be really shocking if he hasn't won a race. But I just can't think of a time that he has. But yeah, Nicky, if you know, I'm sure Nicky will know the answer. If anybody else knows, feel free to notify us. As Nicky comes over the line, he can't improve on his P8 right now. That's 5.9 seconds off of that fastest time being set by Champ. Unorthodox has got pretty close to Champ. He's currently just under a second off of that fastest time, but Champ's currently setting the pace. The only G though has just got pretty close there to Champ. The only G they're saying over the team radio that he was not supposed to set a time there. Obviously the rules stated that our multiple world record holder was not allowed to set a flying lap, but he's done a lap and it's not even pole position, so that is pretty shocking there for the only G. 32 world record holder here on Project Cars 2 has failed to get pole. So news flash here, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news here from Zolder. The multiple world record holder has come second in this qualifying session, so absolutely groundbreaking stuff here. Champ seems to be absolutely flying here tonight. Unorthodox there sat in third. He's currently just under 0.2 of a second behind Champ, so the top 3 separated by 0.2 of a second. The only G did actually mention over the team radio that he slowed down once he realised that it was too late to bail out on the lap, but unfortunately it was all said and done by that point. Oh, as Champ gets onto the grass and spins the car around there, he's facing the wrong way. He gets a little bit of a tap there from somebody as they came through the corner, but that's not ideal for Champ at all. Gets it pointing in the right direction once again. Top 3, Champ, the only G, and Unorthodox have got a bit of a gap though to the rest of the guys out there. BT Tiger currently sat in 4th place right now. He's 2.3 seconds off of that fastest time being set by Champ. Although, having said that, he's just been pushed down to P5 because Civic's gone up into 4th place. There is the Dizzler, he's currently sat in 6th, making his return to motive racing tonight. The Dizzler did a few commentaries for us back in the day in the Clio Cup. A few seasons ago now, obviously used to race regularly in our GTE Championship as well. So it's good to have the Dizzler back out on track here for, I'm guessing, a one-off reappearance. He hasn't signed up for our championships for the upcoming season, but it's great to have the Dizzler back and putting this V8 Supercar through its paces.
You know what?
Nicky currently sat in the pits at the moment, and we're just hearing a team radio here from G. I imagine he's about to say, I'm going to go out and set pole.
Yeah, I might as well set a time and then back off.
Yep, I predicted it right there. I knew what G was about to say there. He wants to prove that his world records in the V8 Supercars here on the PlayStation platform can be backed up by a pole position here for Motive Racing's off-season event. As we see somebody getting loose out of the turn 2 there. I'm not sure who that was. G will probably know who that was, but it was Valeside there, I believe. Was it Valeside? I think it was. But he's getting all sorts of sideways there coming through the first couple of turns. Currently sat in P7, 3.1 seconds off for that fastest time being set by Champ. As we see the Dizzler moving up into 7th. Ben Parkey's just done a time that's good enough for P5 at the moment, and he's still going around. He's coming towards the end of his current lap that he's on. BT Target's gone P4 with that lap, just under a second off for the fastest time being set by Champ. Fury, CBK though, he's just gone up into 6th there. Great lap from Fury, our regular racer in every single one of our categories here on Project Cars 2. Great to see Fury getting the best out of these V8 Supercars. He's a man who switched to the wheel at the beginning of this year actually, got a G29 for his birthday back in December, and in the first 3 months that he's had on the G29 he really has done nothing short of impress us no end. He has got to grips with it absolutely brilliantly, and he's currently sat in P6 against some of the fastest racers on PlayStation here, so he's in a bit of a traffic jam here though by the looks of it. He's got a couple of guys in front of him who are not quite au fait with the liveries and numbers right now, obviously due to the fact that this is a one-off event, so usually we'd have a bit of time to gain some knowledge as to who is in what car over the course of the season, but unfortunately guys, due to the fact that this is a one-off event, we haven't really got to grips with it. But that's the number 9 car just in front of Fury there, moving well out of the way. We're going to try and get up to speed with the numbers and liveries if we can. But,
Surely you should know what number I'm in.
We know what number Dan's in. He's in number 16, obviously. Unorthodox is well known for picking the number 16. In fact, number 16's in his PlayStation name. Oh, as he gets very loose there onto the curb. He rides over that curb. You saw him getting two-wheel action there on the exit of the chicane. But, oh, that's going to ruin that lap there for Unorthodox just as we switch to him. BT Target's coming up towards the end of a flying lap. Let's see what BT Target can do as he's coming up towards the line. Driving in the number 34, also pretty indicative of his favourite number, being that it is his PlayStation name, BT Target 34. Comes over the line, he can't improve on his current P4. Ben Parker's gone up to P5. He was already in P5, but he's improved the lap time. You can see just over a second off of that fastest time being set by Champ, who still has provisional pole in this session. Right, who have we not talked about so far? Maze Gamer, currently sat in P9 at the moment, 2.9 seconds off the fastest time. Driving in that number 10, that very nice green livery there. Looks like it's just letting a few cars through. He's obviously made a bit of a hash of this lap that he's on, and he's backing off. That was a hiccup, and he's planning to go again at the end of this lap. Got Valeside sat in P10, and looks like he's gone wide out of the last corner. He's going to have to bail out of that one. Nicky sat in 11th. Oakbar, the Flying Dutchman, our lead coordinator and admin here at Motive, currently sat in P12. Haven't seen him driving in the V8 Supercars before, but he's pretty solid in any category that he jumps into. This man excels in the GT categories, the GT3s, the GTEs. He's also going to be dabbing into a bit of touring cars this season, we've heard. He'll be lining up on the grid for the second tier of the touring cars on the Sunday nights, so we're looking forward to seeing how Opal gets on in those. But he races regularly in our GT3s, also our Formula Renault lead coordinator. He'll be driving in the Formula Renault series on Saturday nights, and as we all know, he's always up there in the GT3s, so we're good to see Opal out on track for another season here at Motive. One of our admins here does a great job behind the scenes here, and indeed on the Saturday night shows for the Formula Renaults. And currently P12 at the moment in this qualifying session. We've got Laney out there right now, in 13th. I'm very surprised to see Laney as far down as he is. This man was setting the world alight in the touring car division last season. We saw towards the end of the season he was pretty much unbeatable. He was the one who was flying the flag for Team Prolapse, backing up his boss Xmart, and as you see him getting a little bit out of shape there, coming through the chicane. But Laney, we saw, was doing the business for his boss Xmart. Actually helped Xmart on his way to a touring car championship at the back end of last season for the Sunday night series. But Laney's struggling to get to grips with these V8 Supercars right now. I'm surprised really, because they're pretty much just a higher powered version of the Renault Megane touring cars. So,
when I was speaking to him last night, he's more of a front-wheel drive man. These V8s are rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's true. So maybe it's just
he likes his front
with the rear-wheel drives.
He likes his front-wheel drive cars. He says he's not really gelled well with these, but most of the Prolapse boys, when I did a test of them, they do enjoy these cars. They think they're fun, and so do I. I think they're good fun as well. Ooh, I hit a wall. Yeah,
they are good fun to drive, and maybe you're right there. It's just a case of Laney struggling to get to grips with all that power that you're going to have in the going to the rear wheels. But this man we've seen in the Clios and the touring cars has really done a fantastic job here at Motive, and he's currently P13 at the moment in these V8 Supercars, so maybe not really the category for him. We've currently got Boostin though, sat in 14th place at the moment. He's also one of the guys who seems to be struggling right now. Still yet to really set a competitive lap time. He's done a 1:42 at the moment. This man regular in our GT3 championship on Project Cars 2, and he's coming over towards the line now. Let's see what Boosting can do. He can't improve right now. He stays in P14 for the time being. Other two drivers at the foot end of the leaderboard, Smoky Devil and Xmart, still yet to set lap times. Let's see what Smoky Devil can do. He's just coming out of the last corner now. See if he can get himself in amongst it with a minute left to go here in this qualifying session. He's coming over the line now, and he is P14, moving himself up ahead of Boostin. And you just can see there, the only G, our multiple world record holder here in the V8 Supercars on the PlayStation platform, has just gone to the top of the leaderboard. We knew it was a matter of time before he showed what he was capable of, and he has well and truly done that. He's put a second between himself and Champ. Champ has been on provisional pole since the beginning of this session, but that has all been put to waste now because he now finds himself in P2. So Champ, Unorthodox and BT Target separated by 0.3 of a second, but none of these guys anywhere near the only G. What can BT Target do as he's coming out at the last corner? Let's see if he can get himself above Champ and Unorthodox. As he crosses over the line, he moves up ahead of Unorthodox, but not ahead of Champ. So BT Target up into P3. Ben Parkey currently sat in P5. Can he get himself on the front row? No, he can't. He's lost it coming through the chicane. Got a couple of guys coming up behind him. Fury currently sat in P6. He's a long way off. Oh, he spun it as well. Oh, commentator's curse here, guys. Oh, Fury rejoins the track right in front of another driver there. Not the ideal situation for Fury or the driver who he just drove out in front of. Well, we're not quite sure who that was. We're just watching. I've got a little onboard view here of Unorthodox's car in the corner of my desk, and we're currently seeing him hit the trackside view of Unorthodox right now. He's currently sat in 4th in this session. I think somebody's just been disqualified from the session because somebody's disappeared from the leaderboard, but it's still showing us 16 cars in the session. So I think somebody's been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. But we're currently watching Unorthodox now. This is the only man out there who can really pose a threat to Champ and BT Targa and push these two down the order. Can Unorthodox get himself on the front row? The former LMP2 champion here at Motive Racing, the reigning Ginetta G40 Super Cup Challenge winner, and also a graphic designer here. He's regular commentator. Unorthodox comes up towards the line. What can he do? He stays P4. He can't improve. Failside looks like he's done for the session in P6. Maze Gamer down in P10. Shocking to see Maze Gamer so far down the order. Nicky's currently 12th. What can he do? Can he find a little bit of time here at the end of this session? He's coming up towards the line now. And Nicky 77 crosses over. And he goes up to P9 with that effort. So very nicely done there from Nicky. I think that is more or less that for the session. Champ is going very slowly out of the last corner. Has he run out of fuel? No, he hasn't. He should be able to get over the line, but he's messing about a little bit there. So Champ's going to come over the line to complete the qualifying session, I think. Yes, he does indeed. So that is that, and then, ladies and gentlemen. So, predictably, the only G, the man who holds 32 world records, no less, in these VW Supercars on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 platform, sets the pace here in this qualifying session, just over a second clear of Champ. BT Tiger and Unorthodox are going to be lining up on the second row, with Ben Parkey and Valeside behind them, Fury and Civic on row 4, with Nicky and Nadisla behind them. Then we're going to have Maze Gamer, Ogbar, Laney, Smoky Devil, and Boostin and Xmart are going to be lining up the field for this race 1 of the evening. How does that feel, G? P1,
No.
as expected.
Okay.
Oh, he's lagging like mad.
Internet. Oh, great.
Oh no.
Andy.
I can't hear a thing.
Hold on.
Is he disconnected?
Yeah, he's disconnected. For this pre-season event here in the V8 Supercars for Motive Racing, we've got Champ, our new pole sitter, due to the Only G's disconnection there in the build-up to the race. So it's going to be Champ lining up on P1, BT Targa alongside him. We're going to have Unorthodox and Ben Parkey in 3rd and 4th places. Valeside moved up into P5 after the disconnection of G. Fury 6th, Civic and Nicky in 7th and 8th places. The Dizzler and Maze Gamer, Ogbar, Laney, Smoky Devil, Boosting and Xmart rounding out the field. Just under 20 seconds left to go. These guys making some final adjustments to their setups, and then we will be lights out and we will be racing. Let's hope that everybody can keep it clean. Obviously it's not a regular series here at Motive, so these guys would have had limited preparation for this, But fingers crossed that everybody is able to conduct themselves in the highest order here. And it looks like Fury has already, or no, not Fury, somebody is entailed to ready up, so that is their race over already. But we're about to go racing here at Zolder. And it's lights out and away we go. Good start there from Champ. Slightly bogged down from BT Targa. He's already got unorthodox looking to his inside coming up towards turn 1. Dan's up into P2. It looks like Ben Parkey eyeing up a move here up the inside of BT Targa. And Ben's getting a little bit sideways there out of turn 1. And somebody's round in the background there. Somebody facing the wrong way. Who is that? I believe that is Ogbar there facing the wrong way. He's got it pointing in the right direction there. Maze Gamer has moved up into P13 ahead of him. But he's had a turbulent start as well there. Looks like Boosting involved in a little bit of a skirmish. But Champ leads the way from pole position. Unorthodox currently sat in second place there. BT Targa ahead of Valeside in third and fourth. Fury is up into fifth, maintained fifth actually, but Ben Parkey's dropped back down the order. He's into sixth place right now. There's Nicky in seventh. Vista currently got Civic, Rainey, Smoky Devil boosting, Mace Gamer and Oakbar at the back of the field, but Champ maintaining P1 through the first sector of this lap, and but Unorthodox is not letting Champ run in into the distance here. You can see he's very much sticking to the back of him right now. BT Targa running in P3, Valeside. Fury has got Ben Parkey all over the back of him. Let's ride on board with Ben Parkey right now. Actually, he looks like he's dropped off a little bit coming through that section. Oh, it's Ben Parkey getting sideways there. He's almost gone off and gone into the wall, but it looks like Fury's had a bit of a moment there because Fury has dropped behind the Dizzler, and Ben Parkey actually managing to hold on ahead of Nicky there for P5. Looked like those two were going at it. Those two were side by side for a couple of corners there, but Ben Parkey's still P5 here in this race. Champ leads the way on Unorthodox P2, BT Targa, Valeside, Ben Parkey there, P5. The cameras are absolutely awful right now. I pick on one thing and it just takes ages to pan out, but Nicky there, right up the back of Ben Parkey. There is the Dizzler. Civic Fury, Laney completing that top 10, a long way back to Smoky Devil in 11th place right now. Looks like the front group have sort of gapped the rest of them, but Unorthodox has dropped off the back of Champ a little bit now. Champ has sort of stamped his authority on this race a little bit. You're just hearing a report from Unorthodox there on the team radio that he picked up a slowdown penalty at the beginning of that lap, so that's why he's dropped so far off the back of Champ. But BT Targa hasn't really capitalised on that. He's still sat in P3 at the moment, and Valeside very close behind this battle at the moment. Ben Parkey's dropped off at this a little bit in P5. Nicky still holding on ahead of the Dizzler there, and Lady just behind them. Looks like somebody's gone straight on there over the chicane. The Dizzler going completely missing that one out. What is going on with these camera angles? It's an absolute joke right now. But Champ leading this race by 2 seconds ahead of Unorthodox, and it looks like Unorthodox has stopped Champ from pulling away a little bit now. The gap's staying at what it was at the beginning of this lap, and in fact I think if anything Unorthodox has closed in a little bit over the course of this lap. BT Targa still sticking to the back of Unorthodox, but it looks like P2 and 3 pulling away a little bit from Valeside right now. And there is Nicky with the Dizzler in hot pursuit. Looks like this is a three-man battle for 5th place right now, and looks like somebody's lost it there. Smoky Devil had a bit of a spin. It looked like he might have done, I'm not sure. But he's dropped way off of this battle here. Ben Parkey though has had a horror show of a lap here. He has fallen back into 9th place. He's just a couple of seconds ahead of Fury. Fury's not had the best of starts to this race either, as we see him getting all over the gravel there. He's got Civic very close behind him, and this Fury lost it coming out at the last turn. I think he has. Civic's up into 10th place there. Fury losing the position. Maze Gamer there sat in 12th place. Ogbar and Boostin has fallen way off the pack. Boostin has not had the best of opening stints to this race. Currently 4 minutes in, and he's down in P14, 30 seconds off of the leader Champ. He's currently enjoying himself quite a bit out the front right now. He's got 2.3 seconds back to Unorthodox. There is BT Targa still with Valeside putting that pressure on him, but BT's lost a bit of time to Unorthodox over the course of the last couple of laps. Nicky's gapped the Dizzler a little bit. Laney's putting some pressure on the Dizzler. Let's ride on board with Laney and see what he's seeing as he comes towards the second chicane onto the brakes. A little bit too far back to make a move just at the moment on the Dizzler. Just letting him know he's there, putting the pressure on him. Trying to force him into a mistake if he can, but the Dizzler at the moment holding firm and not allowing pressure to get to him too much. It looks like Unorthodox has pulled right up onto the back of Champ though in this fight for P1. Coming onto the brakes for the final time here on lap 3. And it looks like Champ might have had a bit of a moment over the course of this lap, because the gap was 2.5 seconds. It's now
I think he had a slowdown
coming over the line to complete lap 3 of this race. And Unorthodox very much in the slipstream of Champ. Just hearing reports there from Unorthodox saying that it looked like Champ backed up and was slowed down, but Unorthodox has lost it. He gets sideways there, coming through turns 1 and 2. Yellow flag coming through turn 1. It looks like he's put it into the barriers. Has he got it going again? He's really struggling to get that moving again. And he has finally got it pointing in the right direction. He's had to use the pit exit in order to get himself back on track. He's rejoined in P4, 9 seconds off for the lead. He's come out just ahead of Nicky and the Dizzler. But BT Targa promoted up into P2 there. It looked like Unorthodox was trying to pile that pressure on the race leader Champ, but he got a little bit sideways oversteer. He tried to correct it, it went the other way. He's ended up in the barriers, and Champ now has a comfortable lead at the front. BT Targa there, up into second place. Valeside still running in P3s, dropped off of BT Targa a little bit over the course of the last lap or so. BT Targa was 2 tenths faster on that previous lap, but Unorthodox, after setting the fastest lap of anyone in lap 3, by over half a second, has had a catastrophic moment there, and he's down in P4, 7 seconds off for the leader Champ. Looks like Champ's had a moment on this lap, because he's had a horrible middle sector there, and he's now got BT Targa looking all over the back of him. These guys separated by 2 tenths of a second, coming down the back straight towards the chicane. Is BT going to go for a move up the inside? Champ's covering that one off, trying to hold the inside line, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold on to the P1 just for the time being there. But Valeside looking like he wants to get involved in this action as well now. 3 cars fighting over the lead here on lap 4, coming over the line to start lap 5 of this race. Unorthodox, it looks like he's trying to get himself back into this one. He's now 6 seconds off with the lead, and he's dropped way back out of this fight. Nicky, the lady, currently this is a 3-man fight for P5. Smoky Devil looks like he's just a little way off for these guys. He'll be looking to try and feast on these scraps if these guys, Nicky, the Dizzler and Lady, start tripping over each other. But Nicky actually has got a bit of a buffer here to the Dizzler whilst we're talking about that. But Champ leading this race by 1.4 seconds, and since that little hiccup on the previous lap, he's pulled out about a second to BT Targa. So it looks like Champ's responded. He's got himself back into the game a little bit. BT Targa facing increasing pressure from Valeside in this fight for second position though. And Unorthodox is now closing that gap back up to the leaders, having made that mistake a lap ago. The gap is now 6 seconds back to Unorthodox, so he's still sticking with it. He's not allowing that to stop him and derail his hopes of taking a victory tonight in the opening race of this event. Obviously this 2-leg event, we've got this race at Zolder, then afterwards we're going to be going to Mount Panorama for a track that is very well known for being driven in these cars, so we're looking forward to that one coming up after this. But right now we're here in Belgium for this race at Zolder, and BT Targa still fending off Valeside just by a little bit. Valeside continuing to pile that pressure on, but it doesn't look like he's just able to get that move right now. Champ comes over the line to do a 1 minute 29.9. Champ is the fastest man out there by some considerable margin, so he was a second and a half quicker than BT Targa and Valeside, but Unorthodox not too far off the pace of Champ, looking in a 1 minute 30.3 himself, so only 3 tenths slower than Champ. But he'll be wanting to get onto the back of BT and Valeside as soon as he can and bring himself into this fight for P2. There is Nicky sat in P5, a couple of seconds ahead of the Dizzler on the road. Smoky Devil there, looks like he's keeping tabs with the Dizzler right now. Laney's dropped out of it though. He's currently running at 8th place. Looks like he made a pretty catastrophic error on the previous lap, because he's just clocked in a 1 minute 42 that last time around. It's dropped him way out of that battle with Nicky, the Dizzler and Smoky Devil. Civic and Maze Gamer look like they're reeling in Laney a little bit now. There's Ben Parkin currently running 11th place. It's not been the race that Ben Parkin would have wanted here to whet his appetite for the upcoming season, as we see Ogbar getting very wide there, coming out onto the back straight. Oh, Flying Dutchman seems to be struggling right now. Fury currently running in P13. What's happened to Fury? Pardon me, he was up there at the beginning of this race, qualified in P6, but this has not gone to plan for him at all. There's Boostin currently sat in 14th place right now, just under a minute off of the leader Champ, as Champ's coming over to start lap 7 of this race. He's got a 2-second gap back to BT Targa. Valeside continuing to keep BT Targa just about in his sights at this point. Unorthodox running in P4, dropping off of these guys a bit. In fact, actually, to be fair to Unorthodox, his lap times aren't actually dropping off too much. It's just that the front three have picked it up a little bit. BT and Valeside now matching the lead of Champ, and the gap between Champ and BT just under 3 seconds, but Champ 1 minute 30.3 last time around. 30.3 also for BT Targa. Valeside dropped out of it a little bit on that last time around. Unorthodox clocking in at a 1 minute 30.5. So between these top four, all of them lapping within 0.4 of a second of each other on lap 6 of the race. But it does look like Champ's got this one under control right now. I would have put the commentator's curse on him, but right now he's got this one very much at his mercy. BT Targa and Valeside continuing to give us a great fight though for second and third places, but Valeside, not to me at least, looking like he's going to be posing BT Targa too much of a threat. He's not really making the... To me, it just doesn't look like he's too much of a threat to BT right now. BT seems to have the measure of him. You see Valeside going a little bit deep into that turn there, that right-hander coming out onto this back straight which leads up towards the final chicane. And for the time being, I think BT Targa looks pretty comfortable in second. It looks like the gap now coming down a bit between Champ and BT Targa. Currently just under 2 seconds between the two at the front. And also, man to watch, Unorthodox has now got the gap at just under 6 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on the times as they come over the line to complete lap 7. Champ a 1 minute 31.5, bit of a scruffy one from Champ. BT Targa must have picked up a penalty because it says on the time board he did a 1 minute 35, but that was definitely not a 1 minute 35 from BT. Valeside coming over with a 1:31.2, but Unorthodox, the fastest man of the top four on that previous lap, a 1 minute 30.8. Dan is on a mission here in this one. He's wanting to recover the time we lost coming through the first turn a few laps ago when we saw him get that big sideways action. He got too much oversteer, he tried to correct it, and when he did he ended up in the barriers. But he's a recovery mission for this man, and is he up to the task? We'll have to wait and see. Smoky Devil's up into P5, he's got ahead of the Dizzler and Nicky by the looks of it.
BT's just dropped it.
Got ahead of BT. BT Targa's had a bit of a moment there. He's lost the position to Valeside. He hasn't lost too much time, but Valeside's up into second place. But Champ has been able to extend that gap due to BT having that bit of a mishap. It's allowed him to pull out that margin to Valeside and BT, and Unorthodox only a couple of seconds behind BT Targa on the road right now as well. Smoky Devil getting up into P5 also. We saw him making the most of what I assume was a mistake from Nicky. And Nicky now behind Laney on the track as well, so Laney getting up into 7th place. But Team Prolapse currently being represented by BT Targa in 3rd place, but BT Targa the highest running member of Team Prolapse out there tonight. We've heard Team Prolapse saying a little bit up to this one, they're enjoying these cars, they enjoy them, they're a good laugh, but right now BT Targa, the man out of the Team Prolapse camp who seems to be really getting to grips with these the best. Laney's up into P6 by the looks of it, and I think that Dizzler's actually got back ahead of Smokey. Smokey's had a moment there, Smoky Devil down to P9. So I don't know what happened there to Smoky Devil. He's clearly had a bit of an excursion. He's now got Maze all over the back of him. Can Maze make a move here? Coming down the pit straight on board with Maze Gamer as he's looking to the inside, coming up towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to have this move done onto the brakes? It looks like he's got the inside line and he's going to have that move done. Is he? Yes. No, Smokey's still hanging it around the outside, coming up towards turn 2. Maze Gamer's going to throw it back up the inside. A little bit of contact there, pushes Smoky Devil out wide a bit. And Maze Gamer's got that move done there, and it looked to me to be pretty innocuous there. It's nicely done there. A little bit of rubbings racing, but nothing too big. And Maze Gamer's up into P9. As Smoky Devil getting a bit wide there onto the grass, coming out onto the back straight. But gap at the front right now between Champ and Valeside, 4 seconds. Champ continuing to just gradually increase the gap at the front. He's just put a lap there on what I assume is boosting there, very sportsmanlike, allowing the leaders to come through. And Valeside looks like he's not able to match the pace of Champ, the leader right now. Champ seems to have this one under control. Valeside's got about 2 seconds back to BT Targa, although Unorthodox is definitely reeling in BT Targa at the moment. Let's keep an eye on the lap times as they come over the line to complete lap 10, lap 9 even. And it looks like Unorthodox, the fastest man of... Actually no, race leader Champ's the fastest man out there. But Unorthodox lapping quicker than BT Targa and Valeside at this phase in the race. Still 10 minutes left to go though in race 1 of the evening here at Zolder. There is the Dizzler currently still got Laney breathing down his neck. Laney in that slipstream, still a bit too far back right now to go for a move on the Dizzler. Nicky falling back a little bit, it's obviously being passed by his Team Prolapse teammate Laney. And Nicky's looking like he's coming under increasing pressure from his other teammate Civic. And he's got another of his teammates, Maze Gamer, sat in 9th. Team Prolapse currently looking out the midfield tonight, but it doesn't look like they're able to continue their stranglehold that we've seen in the Formula Renault series of last season, it looks like they, for whatever reason, haven't got that dominance in these V8 supercars. Former Renault champion Ben Parkey currently down in P12. Bit of a rare sight to see Ben in the position he's in tonight, but then again, it's just a one-off special event, and nobody's really put in the sort of the work and the practice that you would see in a league event or in a championship. So can't really knock these guys for turning up and participating and giving it their all. But Champ's clearly put in the work. You can see still lapping in the 1 minute 30s, low 1 minute 30s at that. He's the fastest man out on track. Champ, the winner of the Splash and Dash in December, is currently showing everybody how it's done in our pre-season special event here at Zolder. But maybe the other guys have put a bit more of an effort into practicing for Bathurst, which is coming up after this one. Obviously 2 tracks tonight. We've got this one here at Zolder and then Bathurst coming up afterwards, so stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. This is not all we've got on the card for tonight. But Champ's clearly put in the practice for Zolder, and he's got the lead to show for it. Bailside P2, BT Tiger and Unorthodox separated by just under a second. Dan's continuing to bring that gap down to BT. Laney holding on ahead of the Dizzler. In fact, he's got ahead of the Dizzler there, so Laney's up in position. Just had a retirement from the race, so somebody's had to pull out of this one. Not quite sure who though. It was none of the guys who were at the back. So it looks like Unorthodox has he got ahead of BT. He has. Unorthodox has got himself up into 3rd place there. I don't know if there was a little bit of a scuffle between those two because they've dropped way off of Bailside in second. But whatever it was,
I had a slowdown, and I think BT had one as well.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, so you just heard the voice of Unorthodox there explaining the situation in that one. But BT's, I think he's got quite a few penalties in this one as BT, because I've seen a lot of the times when he's come over the line, his lap times have been way off compared to what sort of pace he's doing. So I think he's got accumulated quite a few race director warnings over the course of this one. But he's down to P4. Unorthodox onto the podium places, but he's a long way behind Bailside in 2nd place. I reckon Bailside should be safe there in P2, although he's a long way behind the race leader Champ, who's continuing to boss things here at Zolder tonight. Rest of the field pretty strung out. Looks like Civic a couple of seconds ahead of Smoky Devil. Smoky is facing some pressure now from Maze. We saw these two fighting it out a few laps ago. Maze has obviously made a mistake, but he's got back ahead of Smoky there. See, that's a pretty routine move there, coming out of the last corner down the pit straight, and Maze game is up into 9th place. Nicely done there from Maze. Champ though got a 5-second gap over Veilside, but Veilside actually matching the race leader on the previous lap, so Veilside starting to come into his own here. Is it too little too late for him though? If he can keep consistent and stay within striking distance, then that will put the pressure mentally on Champ, because Champ will know that he's there, and it will force him to keep with it and keep his head in the game. He can't afford to relax too much, because Veilside will be there to feast him any scraps if Champ leaves him behind. But Champ continuing to lead this race right now, coming up onto lap 13 of this race. Veilside continuing around in P2. Bit of a way back to Unorthodox there, sat in 3rd. BT still sticking to the back of, oh, actually no, to be fair, he's not really, is he? I was going to say he's sticking to the back of him, but about a good couple of seconds separating those two now. But top 4 way ahead of the rest of the pack. Looks like the Dizzler's got ahead of Laney. And has Laney made a mistake? I think he has, because Laney's shot way off the back of the Dizzler. So Laney's struggling there. He's now got Nicky and Civic, his 2 Team Products teammates, in hot pursuit. There's the Flying Dutchman Ogbar, who appears to have got ahead of Maze Gamer now, so Maze is having a bit of an on-off race tonight. We saw him getting ahead of Smoky Devil, but he's just not really brought it in the way we would expect. Maze Gamer are always a contender in the GT3s on Project Cars 2, but for some reason it's just not hooking up for him so far in these V8 Supercars tonight. But who knows, we might see a completely different Maze Gamer by the time we get to Mount Panorama immediately after this one. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, this is a 2-leg event starting off at Zolder tonight. Quick qualifying session to get us underway. It was the only G who took pole position, although unfortunately for G, He did immediately disconnect at the beginning of the race due to his Wi-Fi being a little bit hit and miss. So we lost the ODG at the start. He wasn't able to take his pole position. The multiple world record holder in these V8 supercars was really struggling to begin with. But since then, Champ inherited pole position, has just driven away with this one. But hopefully we'll have G back in for the second race of the evening, the second leg of the event tonight at Mount Panorama. It looks like BT Tigers pulled up onto the back of Unorthodox a little bit over the course of the last couple of laps or so. And with BT Tigers can be fancying getting up onto that podium again. He was running in P3 for quite a lot of this race. Unorthodox has had moments in this one where he's looked very strong. He was closing up onto the back of Champ in the early stages and had a bit of sideways action coming through turn 1 on, I think it was lap 3 or 4, and ended up in the barriers. Since then, it's been about damage limitation for Unorthodox. Currently sat in that final podium spot, but BT Tigers not going to let him have it. Likely that is for sure. There is the Disley still sat in 5th place, having been given that position due to Laney's mistake on a couple of laps ago, but Laney's now pulling back up onto the rear end of him. We see him in the slipstream coming down this back straight towards the first chicane. Is Laney going to go for a move on the brakes here? He's up the inside, although he's a bit too far back right now. You see the Disley covering that one off very nicely indeed. And Laney still trying to find a way through, get up into the top 5 if we can. Top 4, Champ, Baleside, Unorthodox and BT Tigers so far ahead of the rest of the pack. This is really a fight for best of the rest between the Disley and Laney right now, and these two about 3-4 seconds ahead of Civic. Nicky a further 4 seconds back off of Civic. And that's really it for the mid-pack. But Laney's still unable to get anything done with the Disley right now. Unorthodox has, I wouldn't say put some breathing space for himself and BT Tiger, but he's got enough of a cushion that he doesn't
Vale
have to
is
be
closer to Champ.
worried.
Andy, Vale is close to Champ.
Thank you. So Champ is still leading this race, but it looks like Vale is taking out quite a considerable gap to Champ over this last couple of laps or so. I don't know if Champ's made a mistake. We see on that previous lap, Champ did a 1 minute 34.9, so that's about 4 seconds off of the sort of pace that we've come to expect off of Champ over the course of this race. And now Vale's side might be sniffing the opportunity to take a win in this one-off special event here. Champ, obviously the Splash and Dash winner, has won championships in the past. Vale side coming into this one, he really has been a revelation tonight as Vale side. He's put in a hell of a performance, but Champ still clinging on to this P1. What is going to happen here is we're coming out of the last corner to start the penultimate lap of this race. This is going to be an absolutely cracking end to this one. Champ losing a bit more time on that previous lap, 2 seconds off of the sort of times we've been expecting from him over the course of this race, and now Valeside is going to be really sensing an opportunity to take what I think could be his first win here at Motive Racing. Obviously this is not a league event, but it's still very much pride at stake out on track right now, and Valeside just continuing to pile that pressure on. 0.3 of a second separating these guys as they're coming out onto this back straight heading up towards the first chicane. And it looks like BT Targa's made a mistake. BT Targa has dropped off of the back of Unorthodox in P4. It looks like Unorthodox is pretty much home and hosed there in that podium spot. Laney's got ahead of the Dizzler up into 5th, and it looks like Civic putting the pressure on the Dizzler now for that position. Back to the battle for the lead though, as Champ's still holding off Valeside by the skin of his teeth. This for the lead. Valeside closed in the gap over this last couple of laps. Champ has led this race pretty much since the get-go, but he's at risk of losing the lead which he's had since they went lights out here. If he makes one little slip or mistake, then Valeside is going to be on it, and Valeside's so close in the braking zone. You see nothing at all separating these two there. You could put maybe a Rizzler paper between the rear bumper of Champ and the front bumper of Valeside, but still Champ somehow holding on to this lead. Coming into the final chicane, we're about to start the last lap of this race, and Champ somehow is keeping on to this lead, but Valeside has been putting this pressure on for a good couple of laps now. It's been Champ's to lose since the start, which is why Valeside can pretty much afford to go hell for leather on this last lap. He can throw caution to the wind. He's got nothing to lose here in this one. Champ will be I'm sure, pretty heartbroken if he were to lose this lead on this final lap of the race, considering that he's had this one under his control. It's lights out on the opening lap, and Unorthodox sort of put some brief pressure on him in the early stages, but then he made that mistake, got a bit sideways coming out of turn 1, ended up in the wall, and since then Champ has had a pretty sizable lead, but last couple of laps he's allowed a couple of mistakes to creep into his driving, and Vale's side is now within striking distance here. You can see there 2/10 separating these two now. Champ with a poor run coming out of the first chicane into the second chicane now. Again, Vale's side a little bit too far back to go for the move on the brakes, but he is so close behind the back of Champ. Champ knows that any little twitch, any hesitation from himself coming through the corners or on the throttle, coming onto the brakes, he knows it's going to be game over. As Valeside looks to the outside here, Champ just pushes him out a little bit wide, Edge squeezes him towards the edge of the track, and it looks like Champ should be able to hold on to this lead now. Valeside has dropped back by half a second as they're coming up towards the final chicane for the final time here in this race. Champ, the winner of the Splash and Dash in our off-season over Christmas, looks like he's going to win in the opening race of this evening for our one-off special event, seasonal event. Champ flashed the lights as he comes over the line. Valeside is going to be a valiant second, but Champ is the winner. Brilliant battle from those two at the end there. Unorthodox is going to come over the line to complete the podium here. Solid result from Dan. Not the result he would have wanted. He definitely had the pace to win this one, but to flash the lights from him. BT Targa coming into the final chicane now. It's going to be a P4 for BT Targa. Had the chance to get a podium, but still a solid result nonetheless for our former GT3 champion. The Dizzler is going to come out best of the rest here in 5th place by the looks of it. He's a few seconds up the road from Laney. Looks like he's come out on top in that fight with Laney. Civic a couple of seconds down the road from them. But the Dizzler, in his return to motive racing, this man did a couple of commentaries for us a few seasons ago in the Clios. We used to race regularly in the early days of motive racing. Good to have him out on track. Flash the lights from him as he crosses the line in 5th place. Laney is going to come over to take a P6. The man who was winning all the races towards the back end of last season's touring cars comes over and actually gives Civic P6 there at the end. So Civic classified in 6th, Laney 7th. Nicky coming out of the last corner now. It's going to be an 8th place finish for the founder of Team Prolapse. Not the best of races for him. Has he run out of fuel at the end there? He has. He's just going to coast it over the line there. Oh, so close there for Nicky. Just about gets over there. Maze Gamer's going to come over to finish in 9th. It looks like Laney's picked up a penalty because he's dropping down the order as everyone crosses the line. Maze Gamer picks up 8.
34 seconds.
Smoky Devil in 9th, and I think that is that for the race. 30. Sorry, who?
34 seconds for Laney.
34-second penalty there for Laney, so not the ideal situation for him. He drops down to P9 there. Smoky Devil completed that top 10 with Oakbar in 11th, Boost in 12th, Fury completing the order. In fact, he didn't finish the race, but yeah, classified as retired. X-Mart didn't start. He was the one who didn't ready up, but that is that for the opening race of the evening. Champ there taking the win, Valeside and Unorthodox completing the podium. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back for the qualifying session at Mount Panorama in a few moments' time. See you in a moment. Oh man, I purposely didn't pay attention to what was going on at the start because I knew that the stream would be lagging. I didn't want to have to face up to it because I knew it would just put me off of the commentary, so I just had to distract myself, pull myself into it.
I got like the last lap.
How bad was it at the start, G? Was it lagging all over the place?
The quality was okay, but the stream just died for the race. I got like the last 2 laps with the battle between Vale and Champ. But everyone was watching it through Dan's stream.
Oh, ideal.
So I renamed that first stream Quali, and now I'm streaming it again. So.
Oh mate, I was commentating throughout the whole thing.
It's fine. They're watching. They're listening to you anyways.
They were listening through my stream.
Dan's stream, yeah.
It's fine, mate. It's fine. It's whatever. We can't do nothing about the internet.
Do we know what's happening with the internet, G? Like, it's only
engineer on Wednesday. If they don't solve it again, then switching to BT.
fair enough.
Right, am I inviting you in?
I'm creating a new one.
Oh, okay.
What, are you lobby host? Who's lobby
Yeah,
host?
I'm the host.
Yeah. Do you want to set it up then?
Well, what am I doing? Just tell me.
It's in. If you go to Project Cars, where events is, Project Cars 2, and then just set it for Bathurst, and everything's there. Yeah, just invite me.
Andy, can you invite you in a minute?
Yeah.
Bathurst is going to be a tricky one.
What? Really?
What?
Okay. A light cloud fog.
Clear. Yes.
Just right. Okay. Oh.
It's fine. I wasn't going to put rain on because it would be absolute wreckfest. There we go. That's better.
Right. Just check that's right.
Who isn't in? We're missing one person, aren't we?
Someone voted to kick you. Who the fuck was that?
Mayhem is in. I bet it was like.
No, Maze is in.
X-Mart? Yeah, X-Mart's in. Fury's in.
Ben.
Ben Parkey, he's not in. Yeah. What happened to Ben?
I don't know. Maybe he disconnected, I don't know.
Yeah, send him an invite again. Hui!
Get outside here. Shav just pushed it out a little bit wide. Edge squeezes him towards the edge of the track, and it looks like
it was still shitting itself a bit at the end.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a lot.
Was it? At least
It's alright.
I can hear you.
It's alright, at least it's happening now and not in the season.
No, it probably will happen in the season.
It's going to happen in the season, that's the thing.
Well, if you can stream on Monday and Tuesday.
I might as well stream now, because we can't... I know,
No, it's fine now.
Thing is, right, thing is, yeah, no, I understand what you mean, I understand what you're saying, right, but we know it's got to happen at least once during the stream. It always has to happen once.
Yeah.
I know once it's happened, it's done, it's fine, but it always happens once. The thing is, I can't do this again. I can't sit there yapping away, commentating on a race that no one's watching.
You stream tomorrow and then Tuesday and see what happens on Wednesday.
We used to race regularly in the early days of motor racing. Good to have him out on track, flash the lights from him as he crosses the line in fifth place.
You know, it's like I'm pouring away I'm pouring everything into commentating and giving a good stream, and it's not even on stream.
It's a bit shit.
Is it running fine now?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Right.
What's the point, you know?
Where's
I
Ben?
know.
What's the point in
I don't
doing all
know,
this
I don't know.
promotion for the stream being at a certain link. If
Yeah, I know. It's
not even going to be at that link. If half of it's at that link, half of it's at
I was
another
pissed
link.
off as hell. Don't worry. Where is Ben?
I'm messaging him.
Are you able to stream tomorrow, Andy?
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah. Cool.
Wait, it's tomorrow ACC?
Yeah.
Thing is, we'll have to adjust the. We'll have to adjust the thing, the overlay, because I can do it in 720.
I can't put it. I can't make it in 720.
That's fine. I'll figure something out.
Do 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 do.
I'll just leave the overlay for a few days. It's not a massive deal. As long as we can have a running stream. It's what matters.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's the most important part.
Has Ben replied or?
Not yet. Well, we've invited him, so we gonna start. Yeah.
No. Where is Ben? Ben.
Wait, Dan, is there anything on our story?
Don't think so.
Oh, cool. That's fine. I'll post something now.
NPC in the middle of the road.
Civic says just go.
Just go. Oh, Nikki's messaged me. Send him invite, he'll be back in a sec.
I've sent him one.
Yeah, I'll send him one as well. We've got time anyway, it's not a long race.
Got ages.
Wait, Dan's stream's still going, oops.
Yeah.
Is there anyone watching?
Probably just Andy.
How many people are watching?
2.
Oh, 2 people.
Yeah, one of them is me.
Oh, how exciting.
I had 4 at one point. I had Fury's granddad, Bertie, and Chris Pistick all came in. Right, boys, that's the lap time to aim for, a 1:57.7.
Maze said Ben won't race Bathurst, he didn't get the time to practice for it. What?
Right, does he mean he practiced for Zolder then?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, they practiced. But Nikki said he would be back in a sec.
I don't know. It's fun.
It's an event, you don't need to play practice.
It's Bathurst, everyone's gonna power to the wall.
Yeah, I've turned visual damage. Oh wait, yeah, it was off from the beginning, anyways. So if your lights go out, because I think it's going to be.
I'm going to be switched off for the first 5 minutes. I'm going to try and recover all of the traffic that we lost by promoting this new stream we got again. 1 sec.
Alrighty, I'll put it up. But yeah, you don't need to talk or anything. Mute my mic.
lap, mate. Let's make it count.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We're here at Bathurst Mount Panorama for the second race of the evening. Apologies to those who tuned in hoping to see the race at Zolder, but we had a few technical difficulties. Anyway, doesn't matter. So BT Target currently leads the qualifying session here right now on a 2:02.6. This man setting the pace, our former GT3 champion, currently sat in the pits, so he feels like he's done enough. As we come towards the closing stages of this qualifying session, we've got Valeside currently sat in second. Those of you who caught the end of the first race will know that Valeside came very, very close to taking a win, to actually nabbing Champ at the end. Those two were bumper to bumper, but in the end Champ held on to take the first race of the night. I'm sure Valeside's going to want to try and settle that score in this second race coming up. BT Tiger looking in ominous form right now. So yeah, Valeside currently sat in second place. Unorthodox sat in third in this qualifying session. Had a bit of a moment coming through turn one in the first race. Dropped him off with the leaders, sort of pushed him out of a fight for the win. But we know that he enjoys these cars and this track, so we'll be looking forward to seeing Unorthodox putting on a hell of a show here in this second race of the evening, as we just see Champ there moving up into P2, our race one winner. Looks like he's getting himself up at the sharp end right now. 0.6 of a second off of that fastest time being set by BT Targa. So Champ really getting them miles in around this track and showing that he's full of speed around this Mount Panorama circuit. Champ obviously was the winner of the Splash and Dash competition back in December here at Motive at Daytona International Speedway. We all know the circumstances surrounding that particular victory, though. We know it was a controversial one at the expense of Ben Parkey, but Ben unable to join us actually for this race too. Unfortunately, hasn't done enough practice for this track. He doesn't feel too confident in these cars. He doesn't want to be causing any issues out on track, so he's decided to sit this one out. That's a shame there for Ben Parkey. But yeah, Champ currently sat P3, looking to try and get this one on pole. Hoping to make this 2 wins out of 2 tonight, as Valeside goes up into second place, only 0.2 of a second off of that fastest time being set by BT Targa. So Valeside really getting it down right now. Fury currently sat in P5. In this section we've got Nicky sat in 6th, 3 seconds off of BT Targa. There's Ogbar, the Flying Dutchman, sat in 7th place, our lead coordinator for the Formula Renaults. Former LMP2 champion back in season 3. A long time ago now though. Back in the summer of last year that was, but yeah, Ogbar currently sat in 7th. We've got Civic in 8th in the pits as well, so he's not going to improve on that. Looks like that's the summit of his session there for Civic. We've got Smokey there sat in 9th, just behind him. Maze Gamer out there at the moment, still in the lap time, currently running in 10th place. Maze Gamer not the quickest in these V8 supercars. We know he's quick in the GT3s, but struggling right now in these Aussie beasts. Boosting currently sat in 11th place. Looks like he's just coming through the chase. Wonder if he can improve on his current position. Xmart, our touring car champion here at Motive Racing, currently got it in 12th place. Our regular commentator for Clio Cup Tier 1 as well. Martin Story races regularly in our Formula Renaults, and also the I think he raced in GTEs last season as well. But not doing the best in these V8 supercars. Well, the Dizzler out there right now in 13th position. Let's see what the Dizzler can do as he crosses over the line. He's improves very slightly, but not enough to move himself up the order. The only G looks like he's just getting some practice in. He's not doing any flying laps, and he brings it into the pits there. Laney currently sat in P15, still gets 7 lap time. This is it for Laney. He's got to do it now or never. I'm just noticing on the timing board there, Champ has just gone on pole position. In fact, he must have done it about a minute ago. And only by a 10th of a second though ahead of BT Targa, the race 1 winner. Staying pace in this poly session. BT Targa and Valeside within 0.4 of a second of the provisional pole sitter though. Unorthodox 1.7 seconds off. Can Dan find a bit more time here at the end of this session? Let's see if he can get himself maybe on the front row of the grid. Unorthodox into the final turn. Our former LMP2 champion and reigning Jetta G40 champion. What can Dan do over the line? He improves his lap time massively, but not by enough to move himself up the order. Only a 10th of a second behind Valeside, half a second off of that fastest time being set by Champ. Dan will line up on the second row. Can the provisional pole sitter rub salt in the wounds? Can BT Targa dethrone Champ here at the top of this leaderboard? Coming into the final corner now, BT Targa, our former GT3 champion here at Motive, is going to come up towards the line. What is this going to be for him? He comes over and it's pole for BT Targa, smashes the time by half a second, but Champ's coming up towards the line. What can Champ do here? Champ can't improve, stays P2. It's going to be BT Targa on pole position here tonight for the second race of the evening. Champ, the winner of the first race, is going to have to get by BT Targa. It's going to be all about the start for Champ, but BT, the man to beat here in Australia. Valeside in the pits from P3, Unorthodox. Looks like he's going to be lining up in P4. It's a long way back. The top 4 guys have got a massive gap back to the rest of them. Fury in 5th. We've got Okbar in 6th. Nicky, Civic, Smoky Devil and X-Mark rounding up that top 10. X-Mark just sneaking into the top 10 at the end there. But Smoky Devil pushes him out. Smoky Devil's gone P10 at the end. No, sorry, it was actually, I think it was Boost in there that pushed them all down. And Fury has just gone even quicker there. Fury's gone up into P5, but Fury's now joined the top 4 in a league of their own. So now make that the top 5 there. BT, Champ, Valeside, Unorthodox and Fury well clear of the rest of the pack. It looks like those 5 separate by about a second. The rest of the pack way off. We know the only G is going to be coming back through the pack though, lining up in P15. Our multiple world record holder in the V8 Supercars is going to be on a charge at the start of the race. You can bet on that. But stay tuned, guys. We'll be underway for the second race of the evening in a few moments' time. Dan, it's fun, mate. If you need to cough, just get it out. Just go ham. If you need to cough, just go.
What?
You sounded like you need to cough. I'm saying, don't.
Oh no, I had a headache. I got a headache, mate. It's just like I'm trying to. Yeah.
Headache
It sounds like you're trying to hold a cough. It sounds like you're trying to. You know, when you're in an awkward situation, you're trying to hold a cough in. It sounds like that.
Yeah, no, I'm not in that situation. I'm trying to hold a headache in. I'm like, "Argh."
Oh, bless. Unorthodox there, currently sat in P4. He's driving with a little bit of a headache tonight, so if we give him some support in the chat, let's get behind him and.
Oh yeah,
you know, he's racing with an ailment.
And also, can you also go over to Unorthodox YouTube channel and give myself a stream a like as well? That'd be great.
Unorthodox, as I would say. But there we go. We're about to go racing here at Bathurst for race 2. The only G in the comments saying a world record is a 1:57. Let's see if we can replicate that in the race. As we are lights out and away we go. Good start there from Champ. BT Target slots in P2. Somebody getting very wide there onto the grass. It looks like that might have been Opar there getting out wide, but there's a bit of a to-do there in the mid-pack. Somebody's facing the wrong way. Oh no, and that's Civic there right to the back of the pack. The only G trying to make his way through from the back, but it looked like Ogbar and Civic caught up in an incident there. But Champ leads his field coming up towards turn 2. It looks like BT Target there, P3, Valeside, Unorthodox very close behind these guys. Fury in 5th. These 5 have already broken away in the rest of the pack. It looks like Fury's got ahead of Unorthodox, and Unorthodox is into the wall there, having a big old whack with the wall coming through on the exit of turn 2. Maze Gamer up into 6th, ahead of Boosted. Nicky there, just ahead of the Dizzler and Laney, X-Mark, Smoky Devil, the ODG, Opar and Civic at the back of this field. Champ holding on ahead of BT Target, in fact getting the lead off of BT Target in the first couple of corners there. So Champ, the winner of race 1, now with the ascendancy in the early stages of this race, but BT Target's going to give him a hell of a fight, that is for sure. You can bet BT Target giving Champ a good old tussle right until the end of this race. Valeside there, right behind these two. The man who came so close to dethroning Champ at the end of that first race, he's going to be looking to get revenge here in this second race. But Fury there for P4, Unorthodox dropping off at the back of this top 4 a little bit there. There's Mace Gamer and Nicky just behind these two, boosting the Dizzler. Opar completing the top 10. A bit of a gap back to Civic, Lady and the only G on the back of these two as well. Smoky Devil and X-Mart's had an absolute mare on the opening lap here. He's down into P15. Our touring car champion not enjoying these V8 Supercars for whatever reason at the moment. But as we come down towards the chase for the first time, it is Champ leading the race, having got the lead off of BT Targa in the opening couple of corners, and it looks like he's now got the ascendancy. Veilside's dropped off a little bit off the back of these two, and it looks like Fury gives Veilside a little bit of a tap in the rear, and Fury's round. Fury's onto the grass, into the barriers there. Unorthodox and Maze Gamer move up into 4th and 5th respectively. Looks like Fury's falling all sorts of down the field here. He's down into 9th place there. Ogbar moving up into 8th place ahead of Fury. Oh no, Fury's had a total nightmare there, and he's now way down the field, down in 9th place there, just ahead of Civic. And it all stemmed from him just giving a little bit of a tap on the rear of Veilside, and in the end Fury coming worse off, which is, I guess, rough justice for Fury, because he was the one who was at fault for that collision, and Veilside completely getting away with that one. But he's still running around in P3 at the moment, just behind BT Targa and just ahead of Unorthodox. There's Maze running in P5, Nicky in 6th at the moment, running a solid race in the early stages of this race too. With Disler in 7th, Ogbar 8th, there's Fury down in 9th place now, Civic in 10th, the only G, multiple world record holder in these V8 Supercars, making his way back through. Mentioning in the build up there, the world record's a 157, let's see if he can replicate that in this race. Boosting there in 12th, X-Mark running in 13th place, Laney in 14th, and Smoky Devil rounding out the field in 15th position at the moment here in the early stages of race 2 of the evening. But Champ pulling out that gap at the front a little bit over BT Target. You see there 1.6 seconds separating the front two. Can Champ hold on to this advantage though? We saw him in the early stages of race 1 building up that gap, but then towards the end found himself a little bit open to Veilside. Veilside really came on strong towards the end of the race at Zolder. I wonder what's going to happen in this one. Is it going to be a similar story involving these guys running at the front? But Veilside currently running behind BT Targa, and it looks like Veilside has also got Unorthodox piling the pressure on him now as well. So I wonder if Veilside's got what it takes to keep Unorthodox at bay here. We've got a lot of comments coming in on the YouTube section. The only G obviously mentioning what his world record is Fury's granddad. So nice one, Fury, in relation to Fury's qualified performance, but unfortunately the race really hasn't gone to plan for Fury so far. Ricardo Lauda saying, what a qualifying session, absolutely, Ricardo. And JR saying they're doing 2 minutes all day long. Well, so far we're not seeing any sub 2 minute laps, but I'm sure the only G is going to be wanting to show everyone what he's capable of, as we know holds the world record around this track in these cars, and also on multiple other tracks as well on this Project Cars 2 game. We've got a fight going on here for P7. Ogbar currently fending off the Disler and Fury. Let's ride on board with Fury and see what he's seeing. Can he get something done here with the Disler? Looking up the inside of turn 1, Fury late on the brakes. He's going to go on the inside there, and Fury goes deep into the corner. He's gone into the wall. Oh no, Fury losing out massively there. The only G's going to have him on the exit of turn 1. The only G's up into 9th place, continuing to make progress through this pack. But the Disler right up the back of Ogbar now. We saw there Fury going up the inside of both of them, but overcooked it into the corner. And riding on board with the Disler now. Can he get anything done with Ogbar? Ogbar's gone deep into turn 2, and that is going to be easy pickings for the Disler. Up into 7th place. Is Ogbar going to be open to an attack here from the only G though? It looks like not quite at the moment, but it's a matter of time until G gets past him. We know that for sure, because the only G is the world record holder around this track, as we mentioned a few times, driving in the number 1 car as well. So he's obviously feeling pretty confident coming into this one. Who can blame him? But he's got a long way to go. He's 17 seconds behind the leader Champ, and with only 20 minutes in this race, Ogbar into the wall. G's going to pick him off, surely? No, still can't find a way through, but now he's going to have this run, and he's going to be outside for the chicane. G is surely going to pick him off here. Ogbar giving him the minimum amount of space. Ogbar going very aggressive there, somehow holding on to that position. I think that was a little bit naughty there, I have to say. It would have been better off for both of them if he had just backed out a bit there and allowed G to pick that position, but Ogbar wants to fight this one by the looks of it. Still holding on for this 8th place, and it looks like, oh, he's lost it there. Ogbar into the wall, and G's up into 8th place. I jerked my head there as I saw Ogbar going into the wall. Honestly, I genuinely jerked my head when I saw him fly off into the barriers there. That was a little bit of it looked quite painful there. But Champ leading this race right now by 2.5 seconds over BT Target. There's Veilside currently sat in P3 ahead of Unorthodox. Maze Gamer running in P5. Maze actually bringing himself into this fight. He's just gradually closing in on the leaders. So Maze Gamer definitely with some decent pace here in this race. He's not falling off the back as you would have thought, being in the mid pack early on. But oh, he's lost it. Maze is round. Just as we start bigging him up, he's lost it coming out of turn 1. He's into the barriers and he's had to reset the car on the exit of the pit lane. And now Nicky's going to move up into P5. So that's Nicky up a position with Dizzler and the only G hunting these guys down. But the only G looks like he's on a mission here in this race.
No, I'm on
We're
the
just
mission.
hearing reports there over the
can hear
team
me.
radio
Yeah.
that the only G's brakes keeps getting stuck on. So that's
the
why his
G29 for
progress
you?
has been intermittent throughout the course of this race.
Checking.
Blaming his Logitech G29 on his poor performance in this race so far. But I'm joking, G, I'm joking. But Champ still leading this race right now by G's concentrating so hard he didn't even find that funny. But Champ leading this race by 1.8 seconds here in this one. But BT Tigers keeping him within striking distance right now. The BT Tigers lost a bit of time there going through that section of the track. They also continuing to weather the storm of unorthodox. Currently just half a second separating these two in this fight for the final podium spot. Valeside, we saw in the first race, coming strong towards the end of the race. Presumably just needs to get those tyres in the right sort of, get them to the right pressures. Maybe he hasn't done the right route with the setup, but it looks like Champ's had a moment there because Champ has dropped that down back to these guys. Looks like Valeside up into P2. He's unorthodox going to pick Champ off here and move up into third place. I think he is. He's going to have this run. It looks like Valeside's going to give the slipstream to Unorthodox, and Dan's going to surely have this move done ahead of Champ coming up towards the chicane. But Champ's going to hold the outside, go very late on the brakes, and Champ goes over. Oh, he overshot the corner though, and Dan's going to pick him off on the exit corner. Dan's up into third place. Champ there losing that position. I think he was just a little bit over ambitious on the brakes there, and in the end it's cost him that third position. But Dan's still pressurising Valeside. But now, look, it was just seeing here the fog is starting to fall a little bit here at Mount Panorama, which is definitely going to play havoc with these guys in terms of the visibility. It's not going to be easy to see where they're going. Oh no! Oh, Champ loses it on the exit of the corner. Valeside even loses it on the exit of the corner, and he just T-bones Champ as Champ came through. Champ is in the wall. He's facing the wrong way. Oh no! Champ is onto the grass and he's in the wall, and he spun it again as he was trying to get it going. Champ is now losing heaps of time and lots of positions here in this race. He's down into ninth place. He is 28 seconds off of the race leader BT Target, and I think Champ's hopes of the victory have gone up in smoke here at Mount Panorama. BT Target leads the race by 3.8 seconds over Unorthodox. Valeside after that little skirmish on the edge of the turn 1 now sits 8 seconds behind BT Target. Maze Gamer back up into 4th place due to at the expense of Champ. But Champ is now down in 14th place, and he's still struggling to get it going. He's spun it again. He's still not been able to get the car out of first gear. Coming out of turn 1, is he going to be able to get it going this time? No! He's lost it again. He's now over a minute behind the leader BT Target. This race has gone from bad to worse for Champ, and it looks like he's out of the running for this race. BT Target continuing to lead this one as Champ has retired from the race. Oh, you've got to feel for Champ after such a fantastic performance in the opening race of the evening, but he's out of this one as we now jump onto the cockpit cam here with Nicky. He's currently running a couple of seconds behind Maze Gamer coming down towards the chase, but there is the only G. He's still continuing to hunt these guys down, currently sat in P6. As we've mentioned earlier on, said it before and I will say it again, the only G is a 32 times world record holder in the V8 Supercars on Project Cars 2. This man knows how to drive these cars around pretty much any track, but especially this one. He holds the world record around this circuit on a 1 minute 57. He's still yet to get close to that throughout the course of this race, but he's pulling up onto the back of Nicky. I'm sure that it's going to be a matter of when rather than if he gets past. And Nicky's gone deep into turn 1, and the only G is going to pick that position up rather routinely. He's up into 5th place. Nicky there is just getting it going again after a bit of contact with the wall. The Bizzler's going to close in a bit on Nicky now in the fight for P6 and 7, and Oakbar's not too far behind the Bizzler, also in 8th place. Anything up back to Fury in 9th. There's Civic currently running in P10 at the moment. Xmart in 11th, not the best of races for Xmart. Our touring car champion not getting to grips with these V8 Supercars in the way he would have wanted to. Boosting closing up onto the back of Xmart a little bit, although I think Xmart might have actually made the move on him on the previous lap. And there is Smoky Devil, currently sat in 13th place right now, really struggling here in his second race of the evening. He had a good account of himself in the opening race of Zolder, but this one hasn't really gone to plan. Gap between the two at the front, BT Tiger and Unorthodox, currently 3.7 seconds, so it looks like Dan closing in a little bit on BT. Not by massive amounts, but he's definitely going to be a threat to BT Tiger's lead in the later stages of this race. He's keeping him on his toes, and he's going to be there fighting for this one at the end. You can bet on that. BT Tiger needs to keep his head together, keep himself calm and composed, and make sure he's got that buffer, because as soon as that gap starts to come down, it's going to give that psychological edge to Unorthodox, and the momentum's going to very much be with our former LMP2 champion and current Ginetta G40 Super Cup champion here at Motive. Also a regular commentator is Unorthodox, the touring car coordinator, also a graphic designer. All the thumbnails that you see on this YouTube channel are all down to him. He does a superb job, really does put in a hell of a shift here throughout the week at Motive. Also works full time alongside working at Motive, so this goes to show the dedication that this man has is off the scale. It looks like the fog has subsided a little bit now, so we can go back to our trackside view. Can we? I think we can. Yeah, it looks like we can. We can actually see the cars and not just the headlights now, which is nice. So the power cut at Bathurst has now subsided, and we have some reasonable visibility once again. There's Valeside currently running in third place at the moment. He's got the only G hunting him down, the only G doing 203s last time around, but he's not the fastest man out there. The fastest car out there right now is BT Targa, lapping slightly quicker than Unorthodox. We see Mays getting into the barriers there, trying to keep up with the only G. Mays, that's not a very... Well, it's not easy to keep up with the only G in these VA supercars. He is a holder of many world records in these cars. So you're better off just going at your own pace and seeing where that gets you, mate. Honestly, I've tried it on multiple occasions trying to keep up with the only G in cars that he's very good in, and it's not possible, unfortunately. But you know, you're more than capable of driving at a solid racer's pace, but driving at the only G's pace, it's not easy, mate. It really isn't. But Disney looks like he's closing up onto the back of Nicky just a little bit now. In fact, actually last time around, Disney was 7 seconds quicker than Nicky. But I think Nicky may have had a bit of an excursion on the previous lap. It was a 2:14 from Nicky, and we know that he's capable of quicker than that. So maybe there was a slight contact with the barrier or something going wrong for him on that particular run round. But Nicky currently a couple of seconds ahead of the Disney, then there's a couple of seconds back to Oakbar, sat in 8. 4 seconds back to Fury there, currently running in 9th place right now. Then a big gap back to Exmar and Boosted, who appear to be fighting over the final top 10 position here. Civic a couple of seconds down the road from them. I keep mentioning a couple of seconds, I don't know why. It's just the best way to describe a small margin of around 2, 3 or 4 seconds. I should use that term sparingly, but I keep overusing it. But yeah, regardless, currently the lead at the front between BT, Tiger and Unorthodox has gone up a bit, so Dan has clearly had a bit of a mare on that previous lap, because the gap was down at 3 or 4 seconds, it's now over 10 seconds, so BT Tiger looking pretty good for this race win. Unorthodox has now got Valeside very close behind him in this fight for P2. Dan's going to be aware of Valeside. We saw him race 1 of the evening. Valeside hunted down Champ, really put the pressure on in the later stages of the race. I thought Valeside might have picked him off, but Champ managed to hold on for the win. Valeside once again proving that he gets better and better as the race goes on. Fury's Grandad in the comments saying, still time to fight back, Fury, keep your head. Fury currently running in 9th place at the moment. Fury's Grandad, he's 3 seconds behind Oakbar in 8th place. He's only 5 seconds off of the Vizsla, so there's still places for Fury to gain and damage to limit in his case. But Chris Bissett there saying, G was very optimistic there. Looks like Bathurst bites. Indeed it does, Chris. There's not really any room for error. Also saying, G is climbing, but the gap to P1 went from 14 to 18. So clearly G making mistakes there is what Chris is trying to say. Because there's moments where BT's pulling out that gap and it looks like G...
Stuck in traffic, and my brake keeps getting stuck on. I don't know what to do.
You heard it there, straight from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds like the world record holder struggling a little bit tonight with braking and just with general temperatures in that car, I wonder if he'll be able to get up onto the podium before we get to the checkered flag here in this race, as we hear a oi from the only G there, clearly struggling with something in that cockpit. But Unorthodox currently holding off Valeside in this fight for second place. Looks like Valeside was a couple of tenths quicker than Unorthodox on that previous lap, but these guys are a long way off of the leader BT Targa now. I wonder if the only G can join this fight for second position here, but I think the win is more or less beyond him at the moment.
Anything can happen.
It's a truly spectacular effort from the only G if he were to win this race now. But as Dan rightly said just now, anything can happen in motor racing, and it usually does. As the famous
especially here at Bathurst.
Indeed.
Getting stuck
Bathurst.
on the exact same corner
We
every
store up a few surprises here and there. Champ there in the comments saying Mattia Bonotto to win this race. Well, if BT targets Mattia Bonotto, then yeah, for sure, Champ. Absolutely bang on there. Surprised that he hasn't told BT to Spinale. Well, go on, BT, you know what's going to make the crowds happy now. If you want to make Champ wet himself, then by all means. But Ricardo Loda there saying that is a good one. I'll be in relation to Champ's little gaff there. But Unorthodox looks like he's gapped Valeside very slightly. Currently a second and a half separating these two. So, oh, Valeside into the wall. He gets a little bit sideways there. Thankfully for him, only visual damage in this race, but it's going to have derailed his hopes of getting up into P2, and now you can see the multiple world record holder looming larger in his rearview mirrors. The only G is going to be looking to pick up anything he can from this race. It's not been the race he would have hoped for, obviously being that he holds many accolades in this category of the class, but he certainly can sense some kind of damage imitation on the horizon here if he can get himself up into P3. Also keeping an eye on the fight for P6 of Disla. Looks like he's closing up onto the rear end of Nicky here. But, we're approaching the closing stages here at Mount Panorama for this one-off seasonal special event, this pre-season special event. There's something to get us all excited for the new season here at Motive Racing coming up this week. We've got the opening week starting off on ACC on Monday night. We've got the Porsche Super Cup kicking us off at 7:30 PM GMT. Then we've got the Clio Cup on Tuesday night, back on Project Cars 2 for that one. That'll be starting off at 7 o'clock GMT for Tier 2. Then we've got the main event, Tier 1 at 8 PM. Then we'll be back on Friday night for the Formula 1 League. We'll be at, I believe, Paul Ricard.
Yeah.
It's either Paul Ricard or, yeah, it is Paul Ricard. And then after that, the week after that will be the Red Bull Ring. But we'll be in Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix this Friday, and then on Saturday night we're going to have the double event once again. We're going to have the GT3s followed by the Formula Renaults for the opening week of those seasons, and Sunday night we'll have our touring cars back on for Tier 2s and Tier 1s, 7 o'clock and 8 PM GMT. But we've got a fight going on right now for P3, and it looks like the LEG still putting the pressure on Valeside. This fight really is enticing us at the moment, but G still can't find a way around Valeside in this battle for the final podium spot. Valeside is doing everything he can to take a double podium here tonight, but the only G is going to want to take that away from him and salvage something from this race, having started at the back and having to fight his way back through the pack.
My engineers are going to get fired after this.
Closing in at a rate of knots coming up towards the chicane. And the only G there mentioning that he's not happy with his race engineer for overfueling him as he's dived above the inside of the chicane. Valeside gives him the space, squeezes him out, just about holding on to the position, but G's going to have the inside for the final turn, coming down the hill here at Mount Panorama towards the final corner. And it looks like the only G's got that one done. He's up into third, a bit of a slide coming out in the last corner, which is going to allow Valeside the run coming over the line to complete lap 10 of the race. As they come up towards turn 1, G's going to have the inside line, and looks like he's going to have that one done. The only G is up into third place, but can Valeside get the run coming up towards turn 2? He's in that slipstream. You can see the closing speed there. G's going to have to defend this one coming up towards turn 2. Valeside pulls out of the slipstream. They're side by side coming on towards the braking zone. Is Valeside going to be able to drive around the outside of our multiple world record holder? No. He's never going to be able to do that in a month of Sundays. The only G covers that one off, and he's up into third place. Good little battle from those two, and the only G now onto some clean air.
Great.
So now the only G is in some clean air. He's 7 seconds behind Unorthodox, and we just heard Unorthodox over the team radio there saying great in response to the only G moving up into P3, and we know why, because now he's going to be next on the hit list of the only G. But with the clock ticking and the laps winding down, I think it might be a little bit too late for the only G to get himself into that second position. I think that Unorthodox may just have enough to bring it home in second place, but you just never know. This man BT Target continuing to control things out the front. He's coming into the chase for what I think is going to be the third last time in this race. He's about to start the penultimate lap, if my maths serves me correctly. Driving in his number 34, what I assume is his lucky number, owing to his PlayStation gamer tag. But he's driven absolutely fantastically tonight as BT Targa. We know he loves this track. Obviously he shines at Bathurst. We saw in the GT3 finale last season on Project Cars 2. He was absolutely superb. This man has multiple accolades here at Motive, including the GT3 title here on Project Cars 2 a couple of seasons back now. Has opted to, I think he's just racing in the Formula Renaults, and I believe he might be racing in the touring cars this season. I'm not 100% on that. I know he's definitely racing in the Formula Renaults. I believe he's taking a step back from the GT3s, and he's going to be racing as a reserve for that one. But I think he may have been a surprise entry to the touring cars. I could be mistaken on that. Don't quote me on that. I may be completely wrong. I know that a few of the members of Team ProLabs have dipped into the touring cars for this season, but maybe BT Target isn't one of them. But that's my train of thought on that anyway. But Unorthodox just under 10 seconds behind him, and it looks like the gap between Unorthodox and G is... Oh, G's lost it! Just as I was mentioning the fact that G might be closing up on Unorthodox, he's got out of shape, he's faced the wrong way coming out of turn 2 there. From Valeside, gifted a podium after it looked like he had lost out on a top 3 there. Valeside is going to take his second podium of the evening, barring any major catastrophes on this final lap and a half. But G there down to P4, 4 seconds ahead of Mace Gamer. He should be okay for 4th unless he loses it again. But just under a minute left to go here in this race. BT Targa coming out onto this long straight towards the final chicane. And he's going to be starting the final lap in a few moments' time. Unorthodox, we just heard him over the team radio there. Had a bit of a heart in mouth moment, but it looks like he's hung on to it for now. He's currently 14 seconds behind BT Targa on the track. There's Valeside currently sat in 3rd, a long way behind.
BT, be nice and
Unorthodox.
Come on, have a little spin.
Third place back up with the G. Unorthodox saying to BT Target, if you wouldn't mind awfully having a bit of a moment or something go wrong in the final lap of this race, but I'm sure that BT Target is in no mood to give any Christmas presents, especially in the month of March. He's not going to be giving any free giveaways at this point in the season. We're about to start a new season. He's certainly not going to be in generosity mode at the moment, and who can blame him? He wants to take this one. He's driven absolutely superbly tonight at Mount Panorama. As we see, Unorthodox must have had a bit of a scruffy lap there, because 208 definitely not. Oh, Unorthodox has lost it. He's facing the wrong way on the exit of turn 1. And where is Valeside? Valeside is surely going to be picking him off. He's going to have the momentum coming out of turn 1. He's going to have that move done there. So Valeside up into second place. Unorthodox is now going to have to fight this for everything he's got here on the final lap. He's going to slot into that slipstream, but he's too far back to go for a move coming up into turn 2. The only G, only 2 seconds off at this fight here in 4th place. Is he going to be looking to get himself in on this action? Valeside now finds himself in second for the second time in as many races tonight. Can he hold on though? This is the final lap of the race. Only half a lap left to go here in this one. Smurf J saying, don't forget to breathe, Andy. Don't worry, Smurf J, I've got more than enough oxygen in my lungs to go for another 25 minutes here. Simplay Motorsport saying, evening guys. G, what are you doing? Well, Simplay Motorsport, I'm sure that's Matt there on the Simplay channel. Well, G started at the back, and he's been making his way back through, obviously because he's the multiple world record holder in these cars. He thought, best give the others a chance, and have to make his way back through, and it really hasn't worked out for him. He's been complaining of his G29 giving him a lot of problems throughout the course of this race. So, moral of the story is don't try and show off from start at the back. That's the moral of the story there,
Showing
guys.
off? it's a challenge, last to first.
But BT Targa is coming in towards the last couple of corners now. What a drive it's been from BT Targa. The former GT3 champion here at Motive Racing is going to take the win in this pre-season event for Team Prolapse. Here he comes, the little wee as he comes over the line. BT Targa is the winner of race 2. Valeside coming out of the last chicane. He is going to hold on for this second place ahead of Unorthodox. Valeside's driven a superb event tonight. Second in the first race, second in this second race.
No, he won't.
He'll be a little bit gutted that he didn't pick up a victory, but I believe there might be a few penalties to dish out at the end of this one. Indeed there are. Unorthodox picks up second by virtue of the penalties. Valeside picks up a double podium tonight. The only comes over to take a P4. Mays Gamer crosses the line in P5, bins it over the line as he finishes the race. Nicky is coming into the last turn now. Founder of Team Prolapse, a 6th position for him to get this new season up and running. Flash of lights from Nicky. Always supports our streams here at Motive. A patron as well. We'll read out the patrons in a moment's time. But Nadizla comes over in 7th place. Ogbar is going to come around in 8th. Zolder race for the Flying Dutchman, our former LMP2 champion and lead coordinator of the Formula Renault, is coming up towards the last corner now. And Ogbar, not the best of evenings for him, but I'm sure he'll be gunning once we get going for the GT3s and the Formula Renaults. And also the new addition to the touring cars this season as well, so look out for Ogbar in the touring cars. It's one we haven't seen before. Fury coming over in 9th, and it looks like he's spinned it a little bit too early there. Look at that. Fury holds on for P9 ahead of Smoky Devil. Exmar coming out of the last turn to finish in 11th place, and Boostin coming out of the last turn now. Also another one of our patrons here at Motive. Flash of the lights from Boostin as he finishes in 12th position. And that is all she wrote. Champ left the session after leading some of this race, ended up not finishing, had a complete and utter nightmare in that one. BT Targa taking the win ahead of Unorthodox and Valeside. Well, that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's pre-seasonal event. Great to have everybody on the stream, and a big thank you to all the drivers who gave us the action out on track. Huge congratulations to Champ on taking race 1, BT Targa on taking race 2, and also thanks to all the guys who made this possible. Drop a like on this video, subscribe to the Motive channel, and quickly we're just going to read out the patrons here. Big thank you to all the guys who have signed up to our Patreon service here at Motive, who have taken out the time to actually subscribe to our Patreon service and put your faith in us. We're just going to grab the list up now, and we will read that out in a few moments' time. But I want to just say another big congratulations to BT and to Champ on taking the wins tonight. These two really showing they got to grips with these V8 supercars very, very quickly indeed. And we're just putting this list up now if we can just find it. If anyone has any you can help me with here, then here we go. So big thank you to Boostin Rompu, Xmart, Road Racing Life, Dr. Benji Nip the Villa, Shoulders Sim Race Train, Hewis Rocker, BT Targa, Melted Dazza, Smoky Devil, Kenny, Cobb, JR Sim Racing, Chris Bissock, Emo Guide, Delore, M. Afford, Freeman, Superfast Joe, Nicky Nilsson, Motoring Morgan, Unorthodox, WSRCJ, and I think Bertie also joined that list as well, but he's not on there at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, big thank you to all of you guys for the continued support and dedication that you give us, and we hope to continue to repay that faith on the streams, on the track, and on the Discord server. But from us, it's a big thank you. We will see you tomorrow night for the ACC special event. So yeah, enjoy, and see you all soon.
Bye.
ACC's next Sunday on the 14th, not tomorrow.
God's sake. God's sake.